Hi everyone, welcome back. So today we are going to discuss about the RRC aspects. This is purely control plane, and for the scenario initiating an L3 call and going back to the idle, and then paging is triggered. So this is the actual scenario. So with respect to that, how the RRC is actually behaving, we are going to see now. Okay, so I'm just taking the filter of the RRC to understand. So this is a whole set of UV logs as we have seen in the previous video as well. So here I'm just trying to filter the RRC. Control F. Okay, now you can see I'm just taking only the RRC related logs in a separate page to understand better about it. So we'll come back again with respect to the timestamp and try to see the correlation, how is actually RRC is behaving. Remember, this is a UV logs, which means decoding of the different RRC messages that we will try to see, and also sending of some messages also, for example RRC connection request and other things. So just to start with, um, so I'll be switching back to the main log whenever there is a need in this particular video. So please try to understand the timestamps and the correlation across the other layers, how they are actually behaving. So first let's try to understand this video. I will divide it into two parts. One is like completely RRC understanding, and the other one is like mapping to the other layers based on the reference of the timestamp. So let's try to understand those parts. Now the first part of the video related to the RRC, you can see PLMN search. Cell search is actually happening, so initiating the cell search physical layer. So these are all very basic initially. PCI is 1 and DA layer FCN that we have seen in the physical layer video also, right? So cell is found and frequency is set. PCI is 1, right? This is the one. Currently we are in this cell which is PCI 1, and right now we have not yet calculated any RSRP as well, right? Now the first one is MIB. Because this is RRC, we are getting MIB. So PSS and SSS would have been already there in the physical layer log that we have already seen in the previous video. Okay, so now you can see cell search and cell has no SIP1, obtaining SIP1. So first one is MIB, right? So the next one is SIP1 and SIP2. So that's why you can see in the sequence. Please try to understand here, right? So this is actually RX system information block 1, which is in the DLSH, right? This is in BCH, BCCH logical channel, right? Next one is DLSH. So it is actually processing cell ID, SI window, system information 2, right? Whatever is configured, depending on that, only that much information is actually decoded. So this software supports until here. Okay, PLMN selection. Now processing RRC connection means you have to initiate the RRC connection. So as I said, the scenario is actually initiating the L3 call and going to the idle mode. So RRC connection request, serving cell configuration. Now slowly the RSRP things are actually getting right, trying to calculate. This is good RSRP, this good RSRP, receiving system information. The moment you talk of system information, it is a combination of multiple SIPs, but the first message is SIP2, which is RRC message SIP2. So here just trying to get all the different SIP2 related parameters for initiating the RRC connection request. As you can see, we have out of sync and in sync timers, constants, and also the timers as well. So RRC connection timer is 2000 milliseconds, right? Keep on getting RS connection request, processing RS connection. So waiting for setup a request. So as we know already, the sequence RS connections for the RS connection request initiated from the UV side, we may get RS connection setup or reject from the E node B, right? So as you can see, physical CQI, resource index, these are all like different configurations that we are actually receiving, right? RS preparing processing RRC connection setup, which means it is a success. RRC connection set request is actually sent by the UV, and we are actually receiving the RRC connection setup. So in the setup, we are trying to get all the configurations. One is CQA related configuration, SR related configuration. So in the Mac discussions, I think we can see in much more in detail about these parts, and retransmission, HARC related configurations, right? RS connection setup coupled. So once all are actually received in the RS connection, only this much, this part is actually the physical layer configuration, MAC configuration, CQA related and SR related configurations. Then it is completely acquired. It means they decoded and successfully understood all the parameters. Then for that, it is sending the RSC connection setup complete, right? So setup complete, finished RS connection setup successfully. Now the actual the NAS messages will transfer. NAS messages will be sent, right? In the SRB1 NAS attach request. RS connection setup complete itself, NAS message will be sent. Since this is a RRC log, we cannot able to see the NAS messages. Okay. Now DL info transfer, UL info transfer. These are all like this one is authentication request. This is authentication response. That's why you can see it is very nearby, close nearby. 908, no, sorry, 908 and 895. It is very nearby, which means this is authentication. The request, what is actually UV is actually receiving and responding authentication response. So like that, other messages will be ongoing. SIB1, SRB1, SRB1. Time to time, the measurements are also happening because decoding should be successful, PDSH and PDCCH at the physical layer, right? That's why this is just an indication that my cell is good. My cell is good and it is able to receive. So these things are actually happening time to time always, wherever you see the messages, right? Still SRB1, SRB1, SRB1 capabilities. So connection reconfiguration. This is for the activate EPS default bearer context request and response. For that, the corresponding RRC message is the RRC connection reconfigurations. So the message what I mentioned just now, that you have to look at from the NAS level view, okay, and the corresponding RRC connection configuration will configuration complete will be sent. This is the message that you will send. Now once it is complete, once the security is also done, okay, then we are eligible to send the information through SRB2, right? So this much of QAM is not necessary now. Connection, finished connection configuration successfully. So this is just continuously monitoring. Now the U-plane has actually already started, okay. So as you can see, are there any RRC messages? We'll try to see and understand if there are any RRC messages. So basically it is going back to the idle mode. That's why it is going for reselection. As I said, the scenario, right, leaving an RRC connected state until some point. So until this point, all U-plane things means the packets are actually happening. So those things, it will be very interesting. We will try to see those things in the L2 part, because L2 is majority of the time it is a U-plane aspect. Okay, we'll try to see those parts as well. So now, as I said, the scenario is basically initiating and releasing and paging, right? So it is actually trying to leave the RRC connection mode. So we are setting back to the configuration. It is just trying for the reselection. So there is no reselection. So we'll try to see again when it is actually initiated. So again we will see in this later. So RS connection request, I'll try to search. Now you can see this is the request. So RS connection request initiated. Now why it is initiated? Because as a part of triggering of the paging, this is the paging, PCCH, processing and receiving paging message with respect to this particular UV, right? STMZ matching in the paging message, RS connection re-establishment, disconnected, already, but RRC disconnected, right? Which means it has gone into the idle mode, which means NAS connected but RRC disconnected. So that's why we are trying to connect, and that is why we are initiating again the random access. That you can see the configurations here. Number of preambles, response window, and contention resolution, right? These are all different configurations. Again, SIP2 related things. It is receiving SIP3 as well. RSA connection request. So it is ignoring all the things because we are in the same cell. Okay, so connection request and yeah, applying the configuration, connection setup and connection setup complete. Again, it is initiating UL info transfer, DL info transfer, those things also that we can see. Security mode, right? So that's the thing, how the RRC works. We can refer to for more details 36.331 and also 36.304 for the idle mode procedures. It can be release 8, release 10 or any of the document of the 3GPP specification. So that's all for today related to the RRC aspects. Okay, and then we'll see you again in the next video. Thank you.